we stand here today, one rusty cannon, 7 games into our double A career, we are picturing ourselves moving forward into the major leagues, into the World Series, into the Hall of Fame. But one thing's going to keep us from the Hall of Fame, and it's not our abilities, and it's not our opponents. It's our desire to see justice in the world. We are not going to accept that entry into the Hall of Fame until they do what they should do and let Shoeless Joe Jackson in.
I love that you just had no idea that he was banned from baseball last episode, and now you're just
I'm championing it. I'm calling the baseball commissioner right now at 3:30 in the morning. Who is the baseball commissioner?
Currently, it is Manfred. Rob Manfred, I think.
Okay, he's probably not busy at 3:30 on a Thursday night, right?
Probably not.
Can you imagine if I actually got his number and I was just like, "Hello, could you please let Shoeless Joe into the Baseball Hall of Fame?" And he's like, "Thank you. No one's ever asked before. Absolutely." And that was just the entire thing. That would be pretty great. Also, I think we forgot to mention, hey everyone, welcome back to MLB The Show 18 Road to the Show with Kyle and Chris. So,
let me just hit off the tee.
Oh, that's what you need. Wait, you actually got stats for that? Are you fucking kidding me?
This is training.
So okay. Whew, that's going to teach you. Sure. Yeah, we're Kyle Snow and Chris Miller. And introducing ourselves is important, but some things are more important than that. Like Shoeless Joe Jackson's banishment.
Man, we're going to talk about some legends.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of who should we talk about? You know Ty Cobb, right? You've heard the name Ty Cobb?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so he was a star back in the beginning of the 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of also the most known racists out there. And there's actually a movie done on
real
him.
Quick, just
Tommy
because
Lee Jones plays Ty Cobb.
This is going to happen a lot. I'm sure this is going to come up a lot. What year did they integrate the two leagues together? Because it was like Robinson, I know, was the first player, but that was people had a problem with that because they still had a separate league for the African Americans.
It started with him. Next couple of years, they added some more.
Okay.
And it just kind of kept happening.
Did they eventually have an official, we've collapsed this separate league? Because I'm assuming that the...
Technically, it happened when Jackie Robinson was playing, right? Otherwise, he wasn't playing in the Negro League then.
Okay.
From there on, I think Campanella joined a year later, and a few others joined too.
Okay. Do you know roughly when that was? I guess I could look it up. But...
40s, probably mid to late 40s.
Okay. I guess I could just look up Jackie Robinson. It's kind of going to show up, right? Because he...
Have you ever seen the movie 42? No.
No. That's about that, though, right? his...
You need to see that movie. It's actually fantastic.
Yeah. That one's semi-recent, too, isn't it?
Yep. Harrison Ford plays the GM that brings him in.
I've always had very mixed feelings about Harrison Ford as an actor.
He's good in this movie.
I will believe you.
Plays very different characters.
Yeah. Oh, he died in 1972. Okay.
And they got the guy that plays Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman. He plays Jackie Robinson.
Oh, cool. That guy's a fantastic actor. 1947. Played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. April 15th, 1947. So, yeah. World War II had already happened. Okay, so yeah. Sorry, Ty Cobb, big racists, playing in the early years. Tommy Lee Jones played him?
Yeah. So Tommy Lee Jones played him in a movie. He played an old version of Ty Cobb. After he had retired.
Yeah, well, Tommy Lee Jones is kind of old.
Yeah, very... It's weird thinking of, one of the biggest stars in baseball history being, a big-time racist.
So, how was it notable? Because at the time, that was the norm, right? Something would have had to have separated him from other people.
Norm, but, he treated people in a certain way.
Oh, okay, so
way
it was just...
back, I think we technically could have black players pre like MLB.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they'd have like, you know how like the NHL had the NHL before the NHL, like
No.
kind of amateur NHL, the National Hockey Association,
Oh, okay. Yes, I do know about this.
stuff like that. It's kind of like that. So baseball used to have, but Tykov was known to be not only a racist but a huge dick in general.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He got a little
it's
big
not
for his
necessarily
britches.
notable, but it's crazy that like even I think as he got older, he continued to be a racist.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
I'm just curious because obviously that's real shitty, and I wasn't trying to downplay it, but like it would take a lot to become noticeable for that because obviously like that was the social standard at the time.
He
So
really stood out for a lot of people as like different.
Yeah, so he must have been real shitty then. Oh, you can catch that. Nope, apparently not. Nice, good recovery from the earlier fuck up.
Just watch his handiwork. Oh yeah.
He gets up so quickly. It's because he's got pink, like the pink arm and the pink glove. Same hand. That's what you need.
The other guys. There's some pretty good names in baseball too. Like,
yeah. What about? What about Jose Canseco? Someone a little more recent. All I know about Jose Canseco is that he sucks at crowdfunding.
He was actually a pretty powerful player, like a hitter.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of a dick big. And
oh, I knew that he was a dick because of Dan Reichert. Oh, okay.
Yeah, his reputation was ruined really quickly.
Yes. So I did know this because of that whole thing with Reichert. And in fact, he apparently wrote the foreword for Air Force Gator 2 and did lose the crowdfunding venture to Dan Reichert's book, Jose Canseco Sucks at Crowdfunding, or whatever he called it. Ooh, that was a poor life choice.
To be fair, I thought he got it originally. So I just kept
okay. Poor life choices.
Sorry, I still got to sing here, by the way.
Yeah, but you got it afterwards. So it's...
Yeah, but my stats. It's okay. That's what I'm using. In the majors, I'll be way more careful.
Yeah. If it's not even gonna fuck with your stats, then you always got to go for that. Realistically, you should never be stopping at first.
You should never stop at all.
Yeah. Well, unless you have to slide to get in, because like as much as sliding will stop you from getting to third from second, if it's sliding is what gets you to second, then it's okay. So Diaz 0 for 2. What are you doing?
Watch us play. Get ready.
I'm ready. Okay. Nice play.
Just one of the best players.
What about Ken Griffey Jr.?
Ken Griffey is considered not only one of the best baseball players, one of the classiest.
That's why he had the games named after him?
He never took steroids in an era where every other guy took steroids.
They didn't have a rule against it at this time?
For part of his career, yes. So, they say halfway through his career, they brought in that you're not supposed to have steroids. The thing is, when Bonds was taking them, allegedly taking them, like when it's so sorry.
It's quite all right, Chris.
Sosa, McGuire.
You cut out there for a second. Something about McGuire.
Sosa and Palmeiro and McGuire were taking them.
Yeah, at a time where it was allowed, though, right? When those guys were doing it?
It's not for injuries. He's one of the greatest players of all time.
Okay. Did his father, I'm assuming Ken Griffey Sr., also play?
Yes, he did. Played for the Reds. Very good player, too.
Okay. Who was better in their prime? Junior?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, dude, you are injuring pitchers left, right, and center. And wait, really? They got you?
we got the.
Oh, we forgot to stop share play between episodes.
That's okay.
Yeah. Mistakes were made. Yeah. We'll just we'll cut this and bring ourselves back in a second. And we are back. Hey everybody, sorry about that. We forgot to restart share play between episodes, so they decided that we were going to.
We now have a 2x boost active for the next
for 6
games.
games. Like, what did we do to get that?
I think it's just a random thing.
Cool.
I think I only get it for fielding. I could be wrong though.
Well, let's go to the batting cage. Is there any benefit to just just taking a day and just relaxing and not doing a thing on one of your off days? Like,
I don't really think so.
It's like, no, you went out for a nice dinner with your wife. Can we? Okay, so this is something they need for 19. Is there's also a relationship manager, and if you put too much time into the game, you get divorced. That is something I could get down with. Also, 4 and 6. Yeah, come on.
That's okay. It's not my fault that I'm the best.
They moved you to 6 on the batting order. Is that good?
I was 8th before, so yes.
Yeah. Well, what's ideally you want to be like 4th, right? 4th is like the big hitter, right?
3 and 4.
Okay. And 1 and 2 are just supposed to be really fast guys, right?
Anywhere from 1 to 5.
Mm-hmm. But like specifically, 1 and 2 are supposed to be really fast guys so they can get on base, right? And then 3 and 4 are supposed to knock them home.
They're not always fast. The guys who hit 1, 2, but guys who do get on base.
Yeah. And your big home run guys are supposed to be like 3 and 4 so that someone's already on base and they get more value out of those hits. Okay. So like a Mark McGwire would never be batting 1 or 2. He's always like 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
He always hit 4.
Okay. See, I know things. I know Mark McGwire's big thing was he could hit really
Josh
well.
Toronto always hits 3.
Okay.
Although he hit 2 for a while. Just because he's really good at getting on base as well as having power. So.
Yeah. Depends on what else you need in the lineup. If you got another guy who can get on base, stick him at 2. If you don't, you need him to get on base and you stick him at 2. I said 2 the first time, I meant 3. That's not what you want.
It's okay.
Oh, that's what you need.
Yeah.
That guy's not getting there. Can't believe he got there.
He meant to hit it farther.
Yeah. I have a theory about your teammates. I think that they're cheating and they're throwing these games. We should get them thrown out of professional baseball. Oof.
The play is that I'm basically the good player and everyone else is just throwing every game.
Yeah. I mean, remember that one where you guys lost like 7-3? I believe you batted 2 guys in and ran the third one in yourself.
That's true. The guy who drove me in, he got lucky.
Well, I think it was an accident. I think that he was trying to fuck it up, and then he I forgot to fuck it up. Man, that would have been perfect if someone else was on base.
It wouldn't have been actually. It might have been a double play if that happened.
No, they weren't getting both of you. They barely got just you. Fielder's choice, Chris. That would have been an FC, no problem.
So now,
yeah, but it wouldn't have been a double play. But
you knew it was fielder's choice.
Dude, look at me. I knew that because you told me earlier. I'm learning things. Also, I like that your uniform gets realistically more dirty the more that you slide for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's a nice touch. When did they add that into the series?
Uh,
Also,
as long
nice.
as I've been playing them, like 3-4 years.
Okay. Also, you guys are getting banged by bang.
Dude, I have a 9-game hitting streak.
That's pretty good. Basically every game except for game one, right?
Yep.
Because, sorry, I know you told me this before, but a fielder's choice does not count as a hit, right?
Correct. It counts as an out, so you'd be 0 for 1, but you end up on base.
Okay, so your on-base percentage gets better, but your hitting percentage gets worse.
Well, I'm totally out.
Your progressiveness is not great. Braggressiveness.
I'm getting too aggressive. It's been a while. I'm rusty.
Oh man, I didn't think about all the puns when we named him Rusty Cannon. But goddamn, was that a good decision? Way back in episode 0. 4 days ago.
I feel like I'm going deep here.
Yeah, giving him the nuts.
Oh, it's not a strike.
Oh, Chris, what about the most famous baseball player of all? Mudville's Casey. Was he just known for his one big strikeout?
Who?
You know that like poem or song or whatever? Casey at the bat?
I don't actually.
Oh, really?
I might know it. I just don't know it by name.
Yeah. All I know is the last line is like, there was no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey had struck out. Actually, I'm going to Google this to make, because I don't think it's that long. But I believe that the whole point is he doesn't swing at the first 2 hits because he wanted it to be more dramatic when he hits it on the third swing, and then he gets struck out. Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. Yeah, it's not too long, so I'll give it a read. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville 9 that day. The score stood 4-2 with but 1 inning more to play. And then when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a pall-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope. Okay, it reads weird. It still rhymes, but it was all fucked. Clung to the hope with springs eternal in the human breast. They thought if only Casey could get a whack at that.
Kyle.
Yep. Is it gone? No, it's almost gone though. Okay, that's still. Are you gonna go home? No, stay at third.
No.
Good decision. Thank you, because I didn't see that.
Trophy.
Yeah. What was the trophy for?
Getting a triple.
Nice.
Let's see how close this is.
That was like halfway up the wall.
More than halfway.
Yeah. So Mudville's not doing so hot. They're down 2 points with whatever the fuck. With two outs. If only Casey could get there, we'd put up money even now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did also Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo, and the latter was a cake. So upon the stricken multitude grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted, and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more there rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell, it pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was an ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was a pride in Casey's bearing and a smile lit Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. Okay, there's like more shit here. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in haughty grandeur there. Close by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. That ain't my style, said Casey. Strike one, the umpire said. From the benches, black with people. That's not a line that they should have kept. There went a muffled roar, like the beating of the storm waves on a stern and distant shore. Kill him, kill the umpire, shouted someone in the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's vision shone. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun sphere flew. But Casey still ignored it, and the umpire said strike two. And then everyone called him a fraud. And then, somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey had struck out. So that was longer than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, basically he just is like, yeah, I looked at it quickly and I was like, but it's all, none of it's in real English. It's all Shakespearean bullshit. I skipped some of it too. He just lets the first two pitches go and everyone's like, this guy's the greatest baseball player ever. If he gets a strike, that must be the umpire's fault. And he's like, no, dude, don't worry. I totally got this on the third pitch. And then he totally bunged the third pitch. Glad I turned that throwaway comment into a 6-minute joke. I think it was worth it.
Totally.
If we were getting stats for commentary, the way that they do in baseball, I think that was a minus.
I'm even bored.
It's okay. We learned from this mistake.
I mean, I do a good job.
We're a team, though, Chris. It's not just about your individual stats. Yeah, well... Maybe if you paid a little more attention to the game and a little less attention to my stories.
I have a trick.
Was this the same game?
Yes.
Did you guys get a run out of that?
Yes, I scored it.
Okay. Shocking. You guys have one run and it's your boy Rusty.
It's no longer Rusty. He's firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. Breaking that rust out. The 2 times boost.
Oh, I want to hit.
No hits in 3 tries so far. He struck out once.
Is there anyone else who's banned from the Hall of Fame or like got kicked out during their career for some shenanigans?
I just off my head.
It started cutting out there. I think you said, I'm sure there are, but I can't think of them off the top of my head.
Yeah, there are baseball rules, right, like on steroids now, where if you get caught the first time, you get banned for 81 games.
Mm-hmm.
Second time, 162 for a season. The third time, you're banned for life.
Yeah.
So.
But they never hit anyone like retroactively with that shit, right? Like McGuire obviously took a fuck ton of steroids, but like, hey, we didn't have a rule about it, so go to town. But
a lot of people believe they'll never get in the Hall of Fame because they took steroids.
Is Mark McGuire not in the Hall of Fame?
Nope.
Holy shit. Interesting. Well, Bonds also was taking them after it was against the rules, wasn't he? Like, not like, obviously they didn't prove it, but no? Okay.
When Bonds allegedly took them, they were legal.
Okay.
Mark McGuire actually wasn't that great, to be honest.
Didn't he was like the best like home run hitter or some shit, wasn't he? Didn't he have records or something?
But that's all it is.
Okay, he couldn't do anything besides hit home runs.
He got on base.
But yeah. Easy to get on base when you fucking hit it over the fence.
And he got a lot of walks because people didn't want to pitch to him.
Yeah.
It's just he didn't have a long career of being on top. So.
Okay.
While Bonds was completely different.
Yeah. Also, did you win that last game?
I did not.
You guys are terrible.
Bonds, before he even went to San Francisco, was one of the best players in the league already. He already is a 3-time MVP. and I think he had like 500 steals. He already won like a whole bunch of Gold Gloves, which is awarded to the best defensive player at your position.
Okay.
He was fantastic. Then he went to San Francisco, allegedly took steroids, and broke the home run record and stuff. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, though, he took them when they were legal. If he took them, which
Yeah.
to me, I have no issue with.
Yeah, like
There have been players who played 30, 40 years ago who admitted to taking testosterone boosters who are in the Hall of Fame. Hank Aaron, for example. To me, that's no different.
no, it's just that the drugs got better, and then eventually they're like, we need to deal with this. I mean, people have always tried to get around those rules, right? I know that they have like obviously really strict rules against that in the Olympics, but I've heard that there are some people who will go and acclimatize themselves to training at very high altitudes, draw some of their blood, and then re-inject it when they're like going to compete at lower altitudes, and apparently that's supposed to like boost yourself or something because it's like super good blood at that point or something. Like, which how can you have a rule against that? But like obviously that's the same idea, right? It's a performance enhancing substance, but it's it's a substance that naturally occurred in your body. So like if ever that will be like, even if it's ever disallowed, that'll be a while before you can actually make a ruling on that, because it's like, well, this is this player's blood. We can't tell him he can't have a blood transfusion. We just happened to have gone to Colorado and stood on top of a mountain for a long time before we drew it. Like, so like that's kind of the same idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, it is. Oh, bases loaded. You guys need that because you're getting bonged again. You can probably still make that run. That's what you need. But did those other fuckers not run? Come on, guys.
So I had now extended my hit streak to 11 games in a row, by the way.
Yeah. So what's the deal with pinch hitters? They're not in the original lineup, so are they actually supposed to be that good at hitting?
It depends. Like, you have some guys who, let's say you have a righty on the mound, and you have some guys who really suck against right-handed hitters or right-handed pitchers. And you have some guys who are really good against left-handed pitchers. So you have those guys hit it, to start the lineup because you're facing, let's say, a righty.
Yeah.
And then you have the other guy. Maybe they're bringing out a lefty late in the game, and you want to bring in that guy.
Yeah, you only do this late in the game because that guy has to that guy's out of the game after that, right? The guy you pulled, he can't field either,
unless there's an injury or something.
Okay, yeah. And also there's that other rule that really confuses me.
What are we at for time, by the way?
In this episode, we are about. Yeah, no, we're actually at about half an hour. Good call. I'll leave people in suspense about my other question, which I will definitely forget about before we do our next episode.
No, just ask. It's cool.
Okay. So, I know that is it still the case that one of the leagues, the pitchers have to hit, and the other one they don't?
Yes.
Why the fuck did they not just figure that shit out? Because that's real dumb.
So originally, historically, pitchers hit. So the pitcher is in the 9th spot.
Yeah, and that's like the most common one to get pulled, right?
Yes, the American League wanted to differentiate itself. And so what they did was they brought in the designated hitter. And what that means is that's a player who hits but doesn't field.
Yeah, so the pitcher's spot, and they don't have to hit.
You don't actually hit in necessarily the 9th spot, but yes.
No,
right,
but like it's the 9th guy.
Yes.
Okay. That's real stupid.
I kind of like it. I actually prefer the designated hitter. I know it's not a baseball purist thing to say. Most want the pitchers to hit, but I like the idea of more offense. You get those guys who are really slow and terrible defensively, who can hit the ball a fucking mile. And I like having those guys playing too, right? So.
I like the idea of a pitcher having to be able to pick up a bat and like do it himself, though.
Yeah, but most of the time it just means they bunt it or they strike out.
Yeah.
It can often get quite boring. They're often considered like a guaranteed out.
Yeah, it's like a big deal. It's like a real big fuck up if you get like a hit by a pitcher, I'm assuming, because that's not their main job.
Yeah, generally you don't want to have a pitcher get hit off you. Some of them are good at it, but not that
Yeah,
bad.
I'm sure. Like if they put the fucking time in, I guess they can. But most of the time, I'm assuming they're better off putting their time in on more pitching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys are 4-10. This is having a rough go, Chris.
I know.
But your stats are looking okay.
They're not looking bad.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for joining us, everybody. Next time, we'll see if we can win some fucking games, and we'll see how high this streak can get.
We've lost 8 in a row.
I didn't mean that streak. I meant the hitting streak. You know what? Bad example. But, yeah, we'll see you guys next time.